I think we're live, but for some odd reason, it didn't want to connect at first. So let's go back to doing what we were doing, okay? Hey, this time we actually are live. Yay! Thank you, YouTube. You stack of communist cocksucking never mind. All right, what's up, everybody? It's Sunday night at 7 o'clock.
Lagged again.
And it is, we don't care. And it's time for Gaming Beyond the box. Yeah, something like that. And Jesus, what a day it's been. The Iron Lords are celebrating their 300th episode today.
That's right.
And I got to go hang out with those guys for a little bit today. That's always fun. And if you watched last week's show, you know Cog was here with us last week. I've got to get David on here and Attic and Saab at some point. But tonight, we have the wall with a beard. It's an inside joke. You had to be in the studio to catch it at first. We have Mr. Wandering Dutch himself. The guy with all the tattoos and the really long beard makes bombers, feel really insuperior. And in case you're wondering why you don't see Bomber on the screen, Bomber got arrested today for bad fashion. If you saw the picture floating around on Twitter today, you know what I'm talking about. People that white should not be allowed to wear pink shorts. It is a law in the South, and he just broke the law, and he was arrested. They will probably flog him while listening to Nickelback at least 38 times tonight.
I'm just wondering how he can be so pasty and still have tan lines.
That's weird, isn't it?
Right.
He has what
White
we call
and
the
even
South.
whiter.
Yeah, he has a graveyard tan for all you that doesn't know. So, yeah, it's kind of creepy. I know I saw the picture on Twitter earlier. I actually had to dim my own phone screen. That's pretty bad. I'm glad I didn't pull it up on a computer. Whoo, that would have really been bad. But anyway, enough of the jabber. Let's get down to it. Let's start at the bottom right. My man, my good friend, Scrub Nurse, what is going on, dude? Unmute yourself before you start talking.
What's going on, people? Good to see you. Great to have the show going. Seeing everybody in the chat. We're going to talk some video games. Let's see. What have I been playing? Oh, well, dang. Let me go. See you guys later. Take it. We're going to have a good time. What have I been playing this week? Been doing a lot of Call of Duty. New season 3 has started, and it's actually pretty good. They have some good new maps on there. Was that Black Sail, and then there's a Lighthouse one. That Lighthouse makes you feel like you're actually playing in the campaign. I don't know if you checked it out, Wilmy, but that Lighthouse map is ridiculous. It's fun. It's in the rain, got the verticality and all that good stuff. So I'm excited. That's about it. I downloaded Ghostwire Tokyo, so we'll see how that goes. Sensei, I missed you. Maybe we can try it again this week tonight. So that's all I've been doing. Like I said, I'll try Ghostwire Tokyo this next week. Let y'all know what I talk about. That's me.
All right, fair enough. And then to his left, beard, all the weird looking tattoos, Cracker Jacks, but that's okay. What is up, Mr. Dutch?
What is up? What is up? It's been far too long since I've been on GBTB. Far too long. It's been well before you had your hospitalization, and I'm glad you're better. It's been a long time, but no, it's great to be back. Great to be back in this wonderful, wild place known as Gaming Beyond the Box. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of Ghostwire. Pretty much the only game I've been playing the last 2 weeks because I've been busy creating a indie showcase, which goes live next week. But yeah, played a bit of Ghostwire. It is, in my opinion, far better than Deathloop, which I did not enjoy.
I do have to agree with you on that one. Because I really got bored with Deathloop.
Yeah, it bored us to tears. Like it was just so damn slow. and it felt clunky. Like Ghostwire's not the best of like in terms of movement, but at least the story's interesting. And the environment's a little bit more interesting. I just didn't find Deathloop that entertaining. But this one so far, it's at least a better step up. Yeah, that's all I've been playing so far.
It does get a little tedious after a while, though. I will
Yeah,
warn
but
you.
Deathloop got tedious after about 30 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
It took me 4 hours, so I mean,
I think I was about there where Peniac was. After about the 4th or 5th hour, I was like, really? I got to do this shit again? No.
Yeah.
And I was getting creative with the way I killed people. After
Yeah.
a while, I got bored trying to kill them. I just want to sneak past them after, a couple of hours. Just see if I could do it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree. Ghost is a much better game than Deathloop by a long shot.
Yep.
And it looks much
100%.
better.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hands down. Hands down, it looks much better.
Tokyo aesthetic's pretty cool, I would imagine. I haven't played it, but anything I saw, it always looked nice.
Oh, it looks really good. It really does. It plays, and like Dutch said, it plays much better too. Because I really got bored with Deathloop. And all right,
It was like
Mr.
the gunplay and the movement in Deathloop just fell off. It just all of it fell off. Didn't feel right.
Oh, I agree. And I found a few fun things to do in that game, but it got boring after a while. And you had to get everything in a certain order too. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And Centurion, are you still awake?
Oh yeah, man, I'm excited. Time for
Oh,
Gaming
really?
Beyond. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Put that away, man.
What? Oh, why? This is the show to pull it out on. Oh,
Wait,
That'll
what are
be
we
true.
talking
Hey,
about?
no. Look.
Well, hold on.
Just
Now.
because Bomber was wearing pink shorts in a photograph, don't get the wrong idea about the rest of the panel, okay?
yeah, no, I don't get the wrong idea. No, and by the way, after they're done with Nickelback, they're gonna make them listen to like 2 hours of Florida Georgia Line.
Oh, I thought it was going to be
that
Celine
is
Dion.
harsh.
no,
Oh, my heart will not go on.
man.
I thought you was
Dion's a
gonna say
national treasure,
lady-
goddammit.
I thought you was gonna say Lady Antebellum or something. I don't know.
No. Florida Georgia Line. We make jokes all the time. Anytime a Florida Georgia Line song comes off, you got to show respect, take your hat off, that kind of stuff. Anyways, I'm excited to be here. So it's actually awesome to be here. Missed last weekend, but this weekend I actually get to podcast with Wandering Dutch. I always followed him on Twitter. I've seen him on a couple shows. Always, this is going to be exciting. And other than like I told you guys, kind of pissing people off on the internet, I guess. I've been playing a whole bunch of other games. I finally hammered out Gotham Knights, beat that one. I keep jumping back and forth between Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Horizon 5, Elder Scrolls Online as always. And I've been dabbling in this game called Zanwan 7, some kind of Japanese RPG.
Oh, really? I never guessed.
Oh, dude, I just like, what the hell? I feel like playing something different. And this game is not in English at all. The only English is the subtitles you have to read to play this game.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, so
playing
they
that
didn't
one.
even bother with an English track, eh?
Oh, no, but it's
Very
actually a
nice.
really cool cultural experience. Like all the enemy types and the bosses and the lingo is definitely Japanese in origin, especially with like the mythical creatures and stuff like that. And it's definitely got some of that Japanese flair. Like there's been some times I feel like I'm listening to a Final Fantasy track. So definitely, it's definitely an experience. I'm enjoying it. It's nice to play something different. And I
gotta
put you guys
change
to
up.
sleep.
No, not yet. I'm still barely hanging there.
What happened?
I'm
Oh.
snorting the coffee up my nose. Keeps me awake.
Oh, and I hate to be
Wow.
that guy, but it's Chinese based, not Japanese.
What is Final Fantasy
Well,
or
Well, actually,
Long Young Sword 7.
one? Okay, my bad. Sorry.
There we go.
Oh my
That
god,
sounds like
that
something
probably,
at a restaurant. not
that
too
probably
long
makes
ago.
that probably makes me look bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. All right, and now to the top right, the leader of the Dreadites, and the O's are actually zeros. What's up, Dreadpool?
3 hours later. No, nothing much. Great to be here. Haven't really been able to play any games because I've been out there with the cons and creating content for other stuff. So, but but trying to
content, is that what they call it nowadays?
Wait a minute. What do you mean you're out with the cons? What are you guys like a chain gang or something?
yeah, it's a convict. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, wrong convict. The one with the penguins.
And then still has some cheesy ass porno music from the 70s.
Yeah, something like that. But
Dude,
the
if it wasn't
penguins.
for DCMAs, you'd be able to play some Barry White.
So no, conventions. I've been, MegaCon. There was just one in Tampa that we went to. It's the second year that they've done it. We've talked to a whole bunch of directors, actresses, actors, book writers.
Those are called authors, sir.
Is that what they're called? Oh wow, I wouldn't call them that. Never mind.
What do you do for a living? I'm a book writer.
Yep. They're still up and coming. They're not. Sorry, but like the actors are famous people we've seen. I actually spoke to the Frankenhooker herself.
Hey, want a date?
So, but the funny part was I was showing her my cameras because she was like, "Wow, what is that?" I'm like, "It's a camera."
I think she was flirting with you.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll show you the video later. Wink, wink.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, it was a fun family time.
Yes, that's what they call that nowadays.
If you could see my eyes, right?
It's different every week.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now for the guy to my right, if you're looking at the screen from the direction I am, the panel pony pusher. What's up, Peniac?
What's up? What's up? Sunday night. Here we go. Some fun things happened this week in the realm of gaming information, which I doubt we'll talk about.
I missed most of it. What was
I
it?
missed it. Yeah.
But in terms of what, I haven't been playing much this week, to be honest. Probably squeezed in an hour of Call of the Mountain, and I don't know. I didn't want to get too involved with anything before Wednesday, so
Call the Mountain.
Even his wife.
Got to get that Horizon DLC on the go on Wednesday. So
yeah, the pre-orders are up.
So one of the most boring games, you decided to buy the DLC for it in advance.
Well, that's your opinion, but
Hey, at least next week. We get Dead Island 2.
Yes.
Not a boring game.
Right.
and I hope it sucks for fantasy critic purposes only.
It better not suck.
There's a lot of death I can fantasize, and killing and slaughtering, and
I think there's some things we really need to talk about behind the scenes, Dread. I really do.
no, we don't.
I really, because you do sleep a lot for somebody your age, and yeah, it's kind of weird. You work some pretty odd hours. Yeah, I think we need to have a conversation, sir. Me, you, and a lie detector.
Sounds like Dexter episode to me.
Sure. Sure.
I
I can do that.
Yeah, I'm done. For the intro.
For me, I've been playing. Let's see, Ghostwire Tokyo, a little bit of Call of Duty. It's really been about it for this week. Yeah, that's been about it. And like we were talking a minute ago, I've already played Ghostwire on my PS5 when it came out. I enjoyed it, so I figured out what the hell, I'll run through it on the Xbox and send Game Pass. Why not? And what the hell is that?
That's
we
good
just
question.
summoned a Buddhist monk in the distance there.
No joke. I was trying to figure out what
Somebody's
the hell that was.
rolling that bowl.
I was going to say that was
I think my mug here touched the spring on my arm.
Oh, sure.
It sounded like a didgeridoo there for a second.
I thought it was the old school non-battery powered device.
No joke.
It was a spring.
I was actually leaning more towards that moment in Back to the Future when he was turning that giant speaker on and you could hear the reverb going through the speaker.
Or Eddie Murphy, I'm looking for the golden child.
Oh, that too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Golden Child.
All right, enough of that. And now for something completely serious.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Yeah, exactly, right? This is the wrong podcast for that shit, isn't it? Okay, so I will admit I've not been a fan of Final Fantasy for many years. I think the last one I played was number 10, I did play 15 briefly until I realized I was playing in sync. Because that reminded me of a bunch of a boy band running around in a really cool car.
You got me laughing
And-
my ass off.
and
I never
I
thought
just-
about it like that.
I just kind of gave up on the game because my son talked me into buying it and playing it. And I just could not get into it because I really felt like at any moment the characters were just going to turn around, face screen, and start singing bye, bye, bye or some shit. So I didn't put a lot of time into it. I will admit I was impressed with what I saw of the new one. And I might actually buy a Final Fantasy game again.
That's something because I knew we were going to talk about it, and I was like, I was totally prepared to say, Wilmy, I know you don't give a flying fuck about this game, and blah
See,
blah blah. And then,
dude, you've been on the panel and you don't even know me. I am hurt.
you
I
don't
am
like those
hurt.
games. We've talked about it before.
I
Anyway,
know, but this one I like the look of it. And I can't do turn-based anymore. I outgrew that shit a long time ago. But I really like this one. What do you guys think about it?
It's interesting.
yeah, I had I pre-ordered it a couple weeks ago because Best Buy up here is the only place you can get it with a steelbook. And I'm like, I'll get a steelbook, and they don't charge until they ship, so who cares, right? If I decide against it and the day before, I'll cancel it. But I was very impressed with the state of play and what they showed, and it's just like man, I was kind of wowed, to be honest. And
I do agree.
pretty fucking pumped to play it now in June. So yeah,
And I'm not even a Square Enix fan at all.
And as far as Final Fantasy goes, the last one I actively played was 13. And then I gave up on that one after they turned a 25-hour hallway into an open world game. So I was like, what the fuck? I have to grind now? Yeah, I just went through a hallway for 25 hours and now I have to grind? So I got pissed off with that and quit. And I gave up on 12. I played 10. 10 would be the last one I played all the way through. So
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's
10's
the last one I played too.
Was 10.
So yeah, I didn't even touch 15. I saw it and kind of was like, this looks kind of, I don't know. Maybe it would have been cool, but
It
I
wasn't.
don't have time to go back and play it. But no,
Yeah,
this
you're
one
not
looks-
missing anything.
This one looks awesome. So pretty excited.
And
to
it was
that.
only 30 FPS.
Oh my lord.
Dun dun dun.
Conspiracy.
How dare you? You are not allowed to enjoy something at that low of a frame rate.
That's it. I'm
Thank you.
leaving.
I'm out of here, bitch.
Damn it, I play my video games with my pinky up. How dare you enjoy 30 frames a second?
Pardon
For
me,
the
you haven't
for the
agreed
small
with-
amount of time I played Hogwarts because I just couldn't get completely resolved. I was playing that on fidelity mode. Totally.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
Because I tried it on the
Um,
performance mode and the quality drop was so bad, I found.
The one thing on Hogwarts that was the worst was the ray traced quality mode. That was just abysmal. It was abysmal. Like, do not play it in that mode. Like, it looks extremely pretty, but if you try and move, it's like, what is going on?
Are you saying it's like wading through dog shit?
Yeah, yeah.
What you-
Terrible experience. Quality
So
mode was
your
the
character
perfect
turns
mode
into
for that.
Michael J. Fox, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Ooh, spicy.
It's, quality and ray tracing on Hogwarts was not great. It looked really pretty if you stand still, but don't move. Just don't move. I knew people were saying there was the benefits of it and things like, especially when you're casting spells, etc. Of course, you got the lightnings and things coming off the floor, which obviously looks awesome. But when you're doing that frequently enough, which you do in Hogwarts, it's just going to cause issues, especially when it's like that. So it might have been patched out quite a few times since then, but I completed it within the first week, like 100% that thing. So, yeah, quality mode was the same way for me. On the FPS thing, we'll get to that later. But for me, it depends on the genre specifically, which is what my issue has been with this thing, which we'll talk about in a bit. On the Final Fantasy topic, specifically, this one does not interest me in the slightest. There's a few things. Now, I played 15, I enjoyed it, but the last section of it, you could tell was rushed to death, which we knew anyway because it had been in production for 10 years. They'd switched the lead producer about 4 times, at least, minimum. It had changed direction. Originally, it was Final Fantasy 13 Type 0. Then it was something else.
That's right.
And then they changed it to
You're right.
15.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They should have
And by the
used
time it come out, it got to the last final section, and they just went, get it out. Which we've seen many producers from Square Enix say they were games were rushed to the point where the guy from Balan Wonderland said, like, it isn't even the game I wanted to make. They just forced the game out, and I ended up suing them for it.
Thank God, because that game
so
was, I only played the demo, but
yeah, it was bad. But he knew it was bad. He was like, this game should not be out. And they forced it. They forced it out and wouldn't let me have a choice. But 15 was exactly the same. Like that last section, it was the last 3 chapters. Literally just, it went from being huge open world, lots of story, to down a little hallway for the last 3 chapters. And you're like, yeah, this last section was just completely rushed to death. But I'm also an FF purist, so I've been around at Final Fantasy from 1 all the way through 12, where they went through all the different paradigm shifts and the different magic types and how you attach them and all the different battle stances you can have. And again, my favorite of this day is 6, 9, then 7, then 8, then 10. 12 doesn't get a look in. 13, I understand what Penayak was saying. 13 was weird. 13, the first one, I could cope with. That was all right. I enjoyed the story of that. Second one, terrible. Third one shouldn't have been made.
I couldn't understand how they loved Lightning so much to make 3 goddamn games as the pro tag. It's just wow.
Yeah, Lightning was okay, but like it just went off a cliff. I don't even know why they wanted to do that story that badly. Like, it didn't make any sense. You need to stop time, rewind time, and do everything again. No, I really don't. Like, the first time was all right. I didn't want to do it again. But for this one, the only reason I'm not that fussed, well, there's a couple of reasons that I'm not that fussed on this one. It's less a Final Fantasy, more a Devil May Cry. It has no relation really to what Final Fantasy was outside of the fact that it's a fantasy universe. Like, it's got none of the real tropes of a Final Fantasy. It's just a fantasy game that has a battle mechanics of a Devil May Cry. They've done away with the party system. Yes, you have a party, but you don't control any of them. It's just a lead character. So you've only got to worry about one, so there isn't any kind of tactical ability to it anymore. Whereas previously you had to think, right, well, who's got what magic and what kind of things are going to work against different bosses. Now it's just go for it.
Just run, bitch!
I like in 12 how you could basically write if-else loops for your characters, right? And you could tell them how to attack and when they could do it. And, you know, if someone's health is under 30%, you heal and stuff like that. That was kind of cool. The Gambit system, I think I called it, in 12.
Yes.
Where is the healer, damn it?
Here's the funny thing. I'm just really surprised.
You get over there and you flank them from behind.
That's a rogue
just surprised
style.
on how good it looks and everything. So I'm very interested. Forspoken 2 looks really good. It's just I'm glad they didn't go with how the first game came out. No, over your heads.
Did I hear Forspoken 2 or
yes.
my AirPods?
Yes. Mm-hmm. He did.
That EA game looks like a first-person Forspoken.
Yep.
Immortals of Avium.
Was that Mason also giving me grief?
No, dude, Mason's at his house.
Oh, who was crying? I heard baby cry.
Didn't Sony kind of complain about, like, Forspoken not achieving its required sales targets, etc.?
No, that was Square Enix as usual.
Yeah, as usual. Every game.
Every game.
Yeah. Well, no. Every game that's based on Western ideology.
This is
true. Put it out there
true.
about Forspoken. I think Forspoken's biggest letdown was the writing. To me, the game looked interesting. I was very interested in. I'm still interested in playing the game, but since I've seen the acting and I know the writing, I'm like, whoa, all right, I'll wait for that.
The dialogue is terrible. I mean,
I was going to say I'll jump in on that on top of the dialogue, because again, I hate the and no offense to the Americans, of course, both in this chat and listening, but
What the fuck,
it's the
man?
same. It's the same in films. I don't understand why you get American actors to do British actress
Thank
acting,
you.
or a British acting to do American. I don't understand why they do that. Just get a British actor or get an American actor. Like, and it's the same in Final Fantasy. They've got these over the top British accents. You're like, what? You
Dude,
don't sound like this.
And
We
that's
haven't
just,
been, like, God knows how far back. It doesn't exist.
and Scrub will tell you the same thing. It's the same way too. If you live
Oh,
in the
Southern
South,
accents. Oh,
or if they have a Southern character, they will pick somebody from New Jersey to play with a Southern accent. It's like, yo, go get in the car.
man, I tell you what.
They do that. They do that too. And not to bring it up, I hate to say the word, but the wrestling, when Stone Cold Steve Austin got his start, they tried to say he was from Hollywood, California, and he was like, "I'm from Texas. What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. You know, at least type the person for the area. I mean,
Yeah.
Then you have
just makes
South
more
Park
sense.
making fun of Canadians. Fuck. We don't talk like that.
Yeah, you do.
You can do, eh?
Say about. Say it.
About.
Abu?
See, now he says it normal.
Yeah,
Some
nobody.
people-
I don't know a single person that says a boot.
Exactly.
Cloud.
Yeah, you just said it. There we go.
Well, he
don't
lives
you
in-
know?
He lives way the fuck out in Alberta.
Well, he's Canadian, right?
Whatever.
That's like
Yeah, he's
barely.
Canadian.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like redneck Canadian.
yeah.
Ah, got you.
That's like
He's
Letter Kenny.
Floridian.
Yeah, Letter Kenny. There you go.
He's
Mhm.
Floridian. That's it.
There you go.
I was going to say on top of the fact that they've got the wrong actors for the wrong roles in these games anyway. I think the other thing that Square have a major issue with is populating the open worlds. We've seen that in Forspoken. Forspoken's open world was dead. It's completely dead. Final Fantasy 15's open world was completely dead. And there's nothing in any of the open worlds that we've seen in any of the modern games that have anything remotely interesting to do in the actual open world. You'll come across monsters, of course you will, to kill them, but there's nothing else there. Nothing. That's a major issue that they've got. Like, it's all great having an open world, but it's just fuck all to do in it. Why have it?
Good point.
No, I agree on that. A lot of the videos I watched on Forspoken talked about how the environments looked beautiful, but there's nothing to populate them.
Kind of like
Yeah.
Gears 5.
I was gonna be like, well, maybe they had a conference call.
I
with
agree.
Coalition.
I was
I
gonna
absolutely
say.
agree.
I was gonna
The
say.
PS5
Wasn't it
open
called?
world segment was pointless as well.
Yeah, but wasn't it originally called? Oh, shit, I forgot the name.
It had
of
a
now.
different
Yeah.
title. Yeah,
It did have a different title.
We're not going to
it
talk
was-
about
it was- it was-
Forspoken very long.
No,
are
it
we?
was originally it was called Recore 2 Forspoken.
It's called Project Athia. That's what it was called.
Ah,
Yeah.
We
originally.
always called it foreskin. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always call it probably not playing it.
I played the demo.
Yeah,
That
me
was
too, for
enough
like
for me.
10 minutes. And I'm just like, yeah.
Thing.
I downloaded the demo. That's as far
At
as
least you got that
I
far.
got into it.
They
Yeah.
just plopped you right into a spot and gave you tutorial, and there's no context. There's no anything. It's just go here, go here, go here. And I'm like, why? Like, why do I care?
Hey, at least I didn't say, "Hey, go fetch my leg."
And maybe the story's okay. Like, fuck, I don't know, but I don't know.
Oh, some people like it. I mean, but
Yeah.
it all depends on the person. If you like what you like.
I was going to say, in terms of this, I understand why they're going for this route in Final Fantasy anyway, because they want to open up their game to more people, to a bigger crowd, to a Western audience. It makes sense why they've
But
gone
they're
down
only
the
going to sell it
route.
on one platform.
Yeah, that's the problem. That
That's
is
the
a
way.
major
That's how
problem.
you do it. That's
So,
the way
You say
you
they're
do
trying
it.
to appeal to a Western audience, so they think I'm standing on the side of the road, like cussing every other word.
Yes.
What
That's
the
how
fuck does that
I know
Americans
mean?
talk.
I cuss a lot, but I sure as hell don't cuss that much. I
I
don't
do.
even.
And we all
Those
have
were like,
criminal
dude, it
records.
was those were like
Especially
force-fed
around.
4-letter words. Like you were trying, like they had to really put some thought into how can we force a 4-letter word into this conversation, like an umpteen times, to where it just doesn't even sound right.
They need to hire me. I can
Um,
definitely teach them how to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I'm towed down compared to what I usually am.
I am fluent in the word fuck.
Dude, I could just, I could just see it right now. The game written by Wilmy Hood.
Oh,
That,
God.
that I,
Yeah.
that I would,
You know what it'd
I
be
would
called?
be in line on
Fuck.
that one. It'd be
Final fucking Fantasy.
Final
It
fucking
only got
fucking-
no numbers. Just Final fucking Fantasy.
oh god, that can be taken out of context.
That's my favorite word. Fuck. I yelled it at least 389,000 times per day.
You can just use it anywhere. It's so versatile.
That's
Exactly. And there's
that's
so
his-
many different ways you can use it.
That's his most favorite word. The second one is block.
Mm.
Well, I got to start all back over now, Drew.
Yeah.
Bunch of people
You
are
gotta
probably
remember
jumping on
who
that
you blocked
situation. Like
before.
he's like, oh, I'm not blocked anymore. I could get him.
And then he goes, oh shit, he was suspended. But so anybody else got any thoughts on Final Fantasy?
Go enjoy the game, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
it.
That's basically
Play what you
it.
like
Just-
to play.
I mean, I could have came up with that, Captain Obvious.
Eventually, I know eventually I'll end up playing it. I still got to play Final Fantasy VII, the remake, but I'm not against it. It's just honestly, I feel a little bit of neglecting towards my PlayStation because I'm constantly on Xbox, just hanging out with everybody.
the problem is we need more upright citizens to sit there and complain about everything. We need better performance. We need better FPS. We need better ray tracing. We even need better Lily tracing. I don't know who Lily is, but she needs to do some tracing too.
That's my dog.
That's how. Well, sorry.
Well, her name's Lilith. We call her Lily for short.
Dude, I like how everybody yeah, we'll get on that conversation later. I'm just saying, like, there is much better mechanics coming out in gaming than this whole yeah.
I'm still
You
wondering what's
can't
going on with
prove it.
Peniac. Why is he putting Vaseline all over his face? And
Yeah, I don't know what's
Fucking
going on
it
on my camera there. The blur was very
I thought you were doing that on purpose.
no. So I turned the blur off, and you can't see all the dollhouses back there.
He's
Oh, we
ADD
can see it.
in it on the keyboard, leaning in and out of it.
So Bomber is wearing pink shorts and you got dollhouses. Interesting.
he's
And you
always had
both like
those.
Nickelback, eh?
Sure,
He's had those fancy wooden dollhouses.
No,
We know,
yeah.
dude, you got kids.
I know.
Oh, what we know?
Yeah. I raised two girls myself.
Not mine.
You sure? I mean, G.I. Joe may be visiting Barbie. Never know.
Never know.
I watched Toy Story.
I mean, they got the new movie coming out. You might find out.
I'll tell you this. I would rather watch Toy Story than fucking Blippi.
I still don't know
Oh,
who that guy. I don't
fucking
know who
God.
you're talking about. Thank God I don't got kids.
Oh,
That's
my
why
God,
you don't
dude.
know.
I'm
And
glad
my-
I don't know.
My
Ignorance is
grandson,
bliss. In this
my
case.
grandson loves it. This dude is like 5'10", and he talks with this really weird voice. He wears orange and blue with suspenders.
Holy
And
cow,
he-
that guy's weird.
And every like 4 words, he goes like hee hee.
yes,
So it's like, oh, my
it is
So,
the adult
He's a
version.
multi-millionaire.
of
I
course he
have
is.
never. I am 50 years old. I have never done drugs in my life.
I'm
that's
sure he
no
does
joke.
though.
Oh, he's got to.
He
But I will
has
tell
to.
you this. I do believe watching that show for 10 minutes is the equivalent of doing LSD.
I would rather watch SpongeBob.
Oh, I can handle SpongeBob. At least SpongeBob's
The
remotely funny.
government probably uses him for
there's some
torture videos.
subliminal stuff in SpongeBob.
Yeah, just like Rocco's Modern Life. If you remember Rocco back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day.
I remember Rocco.
Rocco's the shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff in there, that kids probably shouldn't catch on to. But Blippi turns kids into serial killers. I'm convinced. I mean, if your kid watches this, they're probably going to grow up to slit your throat one night in your bedroom.
So
It
you're
is
saying
just-
he's in an orange and blue shirt, like striped?
Oh,
No.
no, it just he wears an orange and blue hat. His shoes are orange and blue. It's just weird.
We've banned it in our house. It's fucking banned. Like it's just
Oh my
Freaking
god!
Piniac walking through the house, freaking like a monster. Like, I thought I said that's banned.
I would
damn it.
rather watch Baby Shark.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
I would
Just
rather watch
For
Baby
5
Shark. than
seconds, I
Blippi.
just looked at. Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh,
looked them
oh,
up right now. Oh, you
Yeah, just
poor
now.
bastard.
Shouldn't
Now
have
you-
did
now you-
that.
So you know what I was saying in the chat. If you ever have the urge to kick someone square in the fucking balls as hard as you can, watch this guy for 5 seconds, and
What's his
you'll
name?
have your target.
Yeah.
For-
What
Yeah.
What's his name?
Blippi.
Okay, I'll have to YouTube that next time I'm gonna go like fight somebody. I'll watch that for like a minute or two and come back and just totally angry.
Oh, I don't know if
Yeah.
you'll be angry, but you'll be confused.
You won't be angry. You'll be like confused as fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah, you'll be ready for the padded
Yeah.
sail and the
Why
the
is this
little
guy a
jacket.
millionaire?
So that means I'll be
Why?
able to take a hit to the face and I'll still be confused.
Yeah, they
He
should make
sells
you
out
want to punch babies,
stadium
dude.
shows. This dude is a millionaire. He sells out stadium shows with all the
And
kids and
I
the
bet
soccer
you
moms.
notice he
Yes.
always wears a long sleeve shirt. I bet he's got more ink than dust.
I was gonna say he's got some sleeves.
I think there is a guy that I remember he was on TikTok that he's like a Nickelodeon character or like a kid's character, and he has to wear long sleeves because when you see him outside of character, dude is like tatted up.
Well, so is Mr. Rogers for that fact.
I know, right?
Original says, what? Is okay. No, he's not okay.
Well, no, I'm looking here. He's got images where his sleeves are up to his elbows.
Oh, really?
He's got them rolled up to his elbows.
Yeah, Blippi
no,
is
no.
not okay.
He has half
He was-
sleeves then.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay at all.
Yeah.
I'm not
But-
looking. I'm not looking up a Blippi shirtless. No, not doing that.
Yeah. I might have different thoughts about
Oh,
you.
come
if you
on,
do that.
download those cookies into your computer.
No.
All right. And let's see. Where is my little thingy? Ah, here it is. So let's pull the Band-Aid off, shall we?
The good stuff.
Redfall.
Oh God.
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
I'm gonna get my words out on this because I know there's some people on the panel that's gonna get completely technical, bent out of shape over this. I personally don't care. I'm gonna play the game. I don't really care if it's 30 FPS. I really just, it doesn't bother me that much because I've got so many other games to play right now. It doesn't affect me personally. So I'm gonna play it that day. And I know it sounds like a curse, but it's on fucking Game Pass. It's not like I'm paying $70 for this bitch. If I download it, which I've already downloaded it, well, the pre-download, if I don't like it, I hit delete. Nothing lost. You know, I've got a subscription to Game Pass anyway. And to be honest, I don't play a lot of stuff that's on Game Pass. So I'm really not even sure why the fuck I got it. But
It's like a gym membership.
yeah,
First party. Yeah.
but it doesn't phase me. I'm going to play the game. And I really don't care. When they add the 60 FPS, that's great. But to me, it's not a competitive shooter, so I don't care. I mean, this is like Call of Duty or Battlefield. I may be a little, I wouldn't say upset. I would be like, and that'd be the end of it for me. But I would get your guys' thoughts on it. So, table's open. Fucking go.
I would definitely. I'm kind of along with you. You took the words out of my mouth. It's not a competitive shooter, so if it was multiplayer, I'd be livid that it was 30 frames per second. But because it's not, you learn to deal with it. I'm still intrigued by the game. I want to know what it's about. I want to feel how it plays. So yes, I will be playing it as soon as possible. It's kind of one of those things. Somebody bought you a hamburger. Would you like cheese on it? Yeah, but you still got a hamburger with bacon on it. So yeah, I'll take it.
Didn't have bacon the first time you said it though. Now you're just adding stuff. Your narrative's all screwed up.
It got bacon. It got bacon. I
That's
still
bacon.
want the cheese.
Okay.
If you tell me the cheese, I'll give you the cheese later. Guess what I'm gonna say? Just give me the burger and I'm gonna eat it. I'll get a cheeseburger the next go round. Question is how long they're going to add that cheese on it when they're going to get that 60 frames per second is a different thing. The faster they put it on there, I think it'll be the better for the game. Because most people on a new game, they're going to play it, get their feelings about it, and they're not going to wait to see what the 60 frames per second. They're either going to love it or hate it right then or there. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm still excited. It doesn't deter me from it. It just gives somebody another thing to complain about. So we'll see how it goes this first week or so.
You know, here's the funny part. They were also in the works of this game before Xbox bought them.
I
And
think it's what,
understand-
2017,
Yeah,
2018.
somewhere on there. But still, you have a box that you have to, and this is the easiest way to fill in like how they have to do it. They have set parameters on this box that you can put stuff into. And as they do it, they're trying to figure out how to expand the top so that way you can actually fit some more stuff in there. And right now they've already got all the parameters. Everything's going to go as is. They're just trying to tweak it out. And I understand, multiplayer games when it comes to competitive me versus you. Yeah, it needs to be 60. I think all games need to be 60. So don't get me wrong. We're at that time of our generation with these consoles and within the years that we've had these consoles that we should be able to hit these 60. But you got to remember, just because a console could do more than the last gen. Remember, back in the day on the 360, there were 3 gigs. They were hitting 60 gigs on the Xbox One on up towards the end of the generation. Okay, so when you look at how the size has multiplied, there's a lot of engines that are doing a lot more work. You guys want ray tracing? What did we just talk about with Hogwarts with ray tracing? If you turn it on, don't move. You know what I mean? So when you look, and you're talking about some of these games that take down a 4090, they literally turn it into a snail. But because there's so much processing that's going on in the background, yes, they need to be better on the efficiency. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the one word, but efficiency of these engines to do what they're supposed to do. But at the same time, you have to remember, this was a while ago before all this came out. So they were building on an old engine. I mean, look at what happened with Cyberpunk, right? That was all based on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And they purposely worked on the PC portion of it more than they did those consoles. And even though the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles were able to handle it, they were well overperforming and still looked like kind of, it was acceptable. But it wasn't made for those consoles. Those consoles were like the supercharger to these games. You know what I mean? The games that they were supposedly designed for originally was the Xbox One. Like, it was supposed to run on an Xbox One, OG one, not the One X. The One X was supposed to give it, a little bit more performance because it was part of the One series, part of the One line.
Right.
All right. Mm-hmm. So look at it like that. Yeah, that's how it was. And now that they've been able to go in there and fine tune everything, now it looks better everywhere. And they even said, you know what, this new add-on is no longer going to be BC. It's only going to be next gen, which is current gen right now. And that's the thing that we're people keep forgetting. Oh, well, Microsoft owns them. They pushed it back. Yeah, delays happen. It's not they're not the only ones. It's going everywhere in the industry. Everything's getting pushed back. I mean, Dead Island was supposed to be released on my birthday. My birthday's come and gone, and it's going to be next week. So it's got
mine too. Back. And you old as fuck.
Yeah. You sure you? Oh yeah. I'm older than you somehow. But
because you were born first, duh.
Yeah. You're bringing logic into this. Come on now. I'm the one that's supposed to bring logic. No, but seriously, that's part of the issue is people are just demanding stuff. And it's like, wait a second, back up a little bit and think about what you're talking about. Yes, we need to have these things at this level. This game was also started before this level. So you can't force something in there. I don't know. Could you fit 36-inch tires on your little go-kart and drive it? Only one tire, though? Could you drive that around? No. You have to build everything else up.
Well, and if I got 38 on my Rubicon.
Yeah, see, but your Rubicon comes with that.
So what you're saying is scaling doesn't work.
Scaling works.
Until it doesn't, and it's not designed to do something that it's supposed to do.
There's a limitation to scaling.
I know that there is. I'm a software developer.
Right.
Oh!
So for 20 years.
Get him.
Who's that?
No, I'm just saying the argument for scaling is the exact opposite argument that you're using right now. So which is it?
It's both. That's the problem. You can only scale if your box is only so big. It doesn't matter how bad you scale it. You can only fit so much in that box. You got to get a bigger box. So when you scale something, yes,
you got to go beyond
you're gonna beyond the box or the box around the box.
Zinger.
So, but when you're scaling, you either got to get a bigger box or you have to lose a lot of other items. And that's why
Sometimes
like the performance mode. I didn't hear that.
Sometimes you have to shave the box.
Yeah, sometimes you have to shave.
Yep, trim it.
You give yourself a little landing guide.
Landing script.
Well, I didn't want to say it like that. I don't know why I didn't want to say it. It's not like I'm on Boom's channel. Yeah, landing strip, so you know where to aim for. Little arrow. But anyway, it's the same thing. You can scale, but when you scale, you lose certain things as you gain other things. And I understand with the performance mode, they probably just don't have the time to do that part of the scaling. And until they can rebuild it, because they're still on RE Engine 4. So if they're going to go to Unreal Engine 5, I would have thought that they would have just done that conversion. But maybe that's why the next mode that they're going to release will be when they upgrade that engine. Maybe that's why they can't do it, is because they're stuck on this. They've already done all this work on here and they don't want to move it past. We don't know, unfortunately. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate with some of these things, and people are so outraged over the silliest things that it doesn't work for me. The same thing that doesn't work for you is 30 frames gives me a headache. Well, then how do you watch TV? How do you watch movies? They're 24 frames a second. You got an extra 4 frames, but that's giving you a headache.
I had somebody tell me today that the film industry is more than 30 frames a second. I was like, dude, what?
No, it's not.
The Will Smith movie, Gemini Man, marketed
3.973 hertz.
Will Smith's current movie.
Yeah, the Gemini Man, that was 60, wasn't it?
No, 40.
Was it 40?
They touted a whole 16 frames more than the average movie.
Yeah, I watched it. It was weird to watch.
It made my wife motion sick. It doesn't look right. You get you got to be ready for it. It's so uncomfortable to watch.
But you see what I'm saying is people are just talking shit out their ass.
Well,
yes, Peniac's calling me out because he's got experience. I also have experience in my part of the field too, so we can call each other out. But we're both right. So I'm not saying that he's wrong because I know what I know. No, we both know what we know in our part of our fields, but we're both right to each extent.
Well, I think
you can go.
One of the things though that really gets to me is I've seen it all week. It's not going to kill Xbox. It's not going to kill Microsoft.
No.
This doesn't mean Phil Spencer. This doesn't mean Phil Spencer's going to get reamed with a cactus next week. I mean, it's not like at the end of Little Nicky when they shoved the pineapple up Hitler's ass. That's not going to happen to Phil
Popeye's
Spencer.
chicken is the shiznit.
We're not going to see Phil Spencer walking out of Redmond carrying a box of his stuff from his office in a French maid's outfit.
This has nothing to do with Phil Spencer. And it's just like, I don't know. And I get it. Some people do it for attention. Mm-hmm. Some, not everybody. There are people that had no intention of playing this game, period. And they, a couple of weeks ago, said they were not playing the game. They were bitching because the game was not coming out on Sony. And they were all mad because, oh, it was supposed to be made for Sony, dude. And Phil Spencer fucking canned it, man. Tell us that Microsoft's not doing shit. I mean, it's all noise. That's all it is. And some of these people, that's all they can do. There's no rhyme or reason, and they really have no common sense. It's all about getting clout or attention.
That's exactly what it is.
For real, the guys you're talking about, they'd be over here complaining, crying that Redfall, the development for the PS5 version of Redfall was canned, but they're also going to be the first person to slap we got Final Fantasy on our console freaking thing up on their Twitter feed.
And see, it doesn't matter to me because I play on all of it anyway. And I don't, those people get on my nerves so bad. And I put up a post the other day that says, I don't care. I'm playing Redfall regardless.
Yeah,
I actually have people sending me messages. And this one dude, I don't even know who the fuck he was because it's my new account, so I didn't lock my DMs yet.
Oh, you have so many unblocked accounts.
And some dude messages me going, "You're the reason, man, Microsoft does this shit." And I was like, "What the fuck did I do?
You specifically are the reason.
What the fuck did I do? I didn't do anything to Microsoft."
And again, it's not Microsoft, it's Bethesda.
Yeah, I was like, "Dude, please." And I even told him in the message, I'm like, "Explain to me, like I'm a 5-year-old, how the fuck I have anything to do with this." And
I've had somebody tell me
Yeah,
I'm
it
part of
just-
the
No
damn problem
response.
because I participate in microtransactions.
people
No.
take some shit way too seriously. And it's
Well-
like I told a dude the other day, after everything I've been through in the last year, it's going to take more than a fucking game to ruin my day.
That
Kim
horse-
Jong-un would have to come here from North Korea and jerk me off with sandpaper to get me upset. Okay? That's the only thing that's going to get me upset right now. So please, Kim Jong, if you're listening, don't take me up on that.
Dude, you go
But-
outside, there's a helicopter with a red star landing in your freaking
Yeah,
yard.
no
you're like,
shit.
"Oh, gosh damn.
He come to the south, that fucker will get shot.
Ugh.
But,
For sure.
but
You know,
that's the
and-
only thing that's going to annoy me. Games and corporations don't phase me. I don't care what they do. It doesn't affect me personally. To me, it's a game. Either I play it or I don't. It's not a big deal because I've got hundreds of others I need to play. And there's more coming every week.
Right.
And I've got a Steam library that's I gave up on counting how many games I've got in it. Because I bought another one the other day. I still haven't played yet, thanks to Timmy. He sent me one, and I still haven't got a chance to play it. And it's just like, yeah, there's so much stuff. It's just I don't understand people.
I mean, it's plain example is I've downloaded I don't know how many games I've yet to even play. You know, I downloaded the Forspoken demo that we just talked about. I've yet to even play it. You know, and it's already out and everything. Who
Yeah,
cares?
you might as well
I
just
still want
delete
to play and try it out just to see. This game comes out. I'm still going to play it. I was never interested into it. Even Starfield, I was never interested into it. And the more and more as time has gone on and they've shown more, and the information for both of those games have come out, the more I'm interested in playing it. The 30 frames per second is not going to kill it for me. We've already been doing stuff like that. We forget that we've been playing with 20 frames a second at times. We've been playing with dips all the time, you know. And yes, we need to demand
Now,
more.
if you're playing with dicks all the time, dude, that's on you. You can leave the rest of us out of that shit.
dip, you know.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
See,
Dip.
Dutch just sent me a text and you said dicks. Okay.
No. Fork's not here. But no, you know, with dips in games, they need to wait. Dips in games. That sounds like Cyberpunk. So anyway, as
Yeah.
I was saying, the dips in games with these consoles, yes, they should be better at doing this stuff, but they need to again fix the efficiency of these engines. They need to fine tune their games and find all this stuff. You know, everybody's freaking out that they're using AI to test these games. Well, guess what? AI will go through these 200 gigabytes of code that they're writing and trying to narrow it down and bring it smaller and get rid of the useless stuff that humans will never be able to run across. You know, it is what it is. I'm going to play it. I'm going to try it out. And if I like it, I like it. And if they bring down the 60 frames again with certain games, I mean, they've done that before. I've yet to go back. So it bites them in the ass. It is what it is.
Bite
You
my
know,
ass.
they'll learn their lesson, that they need to figure out what to do, but they need to read the room on what the people want. And the problem is maybe we're the loud bunch, right? We're the ones that are the 1%ers that are crying the loudest. But the other 99% just don't give a rat's ass. They're going to play the game when it comes out, no matter what. You know,
Yeah.
those are the normies.
So
My question is real quick. When Spider-Man first came out on PS4, was it 30 FPS
Yes.
or 60?
It was
Okay,
30.
then. And they gave that 9 out of 10s, right?
right, and by here's
Okay.
some food for
Okay.
thought. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, that's getting ready to come out, 30 frames per second, even though
Right.
fans are demanding 60.
30?
I'm not fucking around on
Yeah.
that. It's 30 frames
Yeah.
a second. You go in
How-
chat rooms, people are wanting 60, but it's 30.
You can't
Right,
get
but
60 on the Switch game of
How
that
many
magnitude.
how many RPGs how many open world games? You go look at your Cyberpunks, you go look at your Assassin's Creeds, and everybody's giving 10s out of 10s, 9s out of 10s. It just depends on what game it is. People are that's when
we're
they're
also
going to
looking.
jump out and start going crazy. Yeah, Forspoken. That's when folks just go crazy about it. But Forspoken is where we're starting to see some of that turn. I will give you that. Lots of people got mad, complained about Forspoken, but I think it was because it was supposed to be 30, but it was dipping a lot worse
Right.
than that on some of the parts.
But
But there's so many games that are 30 FPS, but all of a sudden, this one specific game, until somebody said it
What
won't
was the
have
last
60,
game you played that was
now we're
30?
mad.
Scrub.
Once the last game I played that was 30, Cyberpunk.
When? On what?
I played Cyberpunk on the original 1X when it first came out.
Which was the only option.
Right. I've
You
done
could
it
play it on a
with
PC. You could play it on whatever, on PS5 and
And you could still
play
do
it on
that
60.
today with any other
Right.
game.
Right.
So
With Spider-Man, like I said, with some of these RPGs out there, they're still putting out games and supposedly the next gen, which is now our current, at 30 FPS.
Which
There
current
is
gen
a problem.
first-person shooter runs today at 30? Only 30. None.
None. Right. Because it's
And
because
Redfall
it's
is a
shooter.
first-party game.
But it's not
but it also
it's not
started
competitive
before.
It
shooter
doesn't
as
matter what it
well.
started as.
No, I'm
It's
saying
the first. It's the first.
I get what you're
It's the
saying.
first big first-party new game that Xbox is putting out this
Right.
gen. It's the current gen only. And this is no disrespect to Arcane, because you know damn well that entire dev team is like, fuck, man, can you delay this so we can put this out properly?
It should have been delayed.
Can we
You're
put this
right.
out properly? This is some guy in a suit in Seattle saying ship it. So no disrespect to the team, but it's just
Well, how do you know it's Seattle? How do you know
How
it's
do you
not
know-
Bethesda?
it's some guy in a suit's doing it. All right.
Okay,
Hey,
You
it's
want
Major
to
Nelson,
argue
that's it.
geographic locations? Like, come on.
So if I could just jump in on this, because I'm glad somebody mentioned AI. I like using AIs to collect data for my own professional and personal lives. And I decided to kind of have some fun collecting data on Redfall. And for starters, when it comes to what's going on at Microsoft, they are a very flexible company. They allow their developers to actually build games that they see as passion projects. We saw that with Bleeding Edge. We see
For
this
18
also.
months, and then their contract's over, and they're gone.
Well, contract work, that's a different story. But you know what the funny part is? They're not over here like Sony being given a list of instructions on a game that is going to work at 60 frames a second, because they're going to restrict the development, and they are looking to push a type of game that they want to fit as a cinematic driven experience. So we're talking about a looter shooter. If you go and look at the fundamental history of the genre of looter shooters, they have known frame rate issues even on high-end PCs. So
Facts.
apparently a freaking console is supposed to be able to digest a freaking looter shooter better than a freaking high-end PC. No, it's not going to happen.
Destiny runs at 120 if you will let it.
Now,
I'm
we're talking
offended.
about when it first came out.
It's
When
a
the game-
competitive
when Destiny-
shooter as well.
When it first
Destiny
came
first
out, it
came
was
out-
on PS3 and Xbox.
When Destiny first
360.
came out, there was frame dips. Destiny
Yes.
came out. Now, guess what? They patched the game. So let's go ahead. Let's create the double standard. This company is allowed to patch a game, but that company isn't. And now let's talk about the fact that there is an always online feature to Redfall. Yes. Do I agree with it? No, but it's there. So be it. Now, who are we to say that as I'm not going to play armchair developer, but we don't know what processes are taking place where the game has to communicate with the server, and maybe they need the game actually live to be able to fix some of the issues, because what works in a controlled setting sometimes loses its damn mind when it's released out into the freaking wild. And they have maybe, how can you say that? Maybe they haven't hit a wall on development, and they feel at this time they need the game to be live, so that way they can actually figure out and hammer out some of the bigger issues with the game. But in all actuality, I think this is a systemic problem with games as like live games as a service, especially ones that go around looter shooters, because they always have this online feature. They are complex organisms. If you look on a code level, that they're having to produce effects, enemy AI, character animations, and then they also got to calculate loot drops. And now we've also got the issue of Redfall being untethered. But if you look at games that follow that path of looter shooters, they have had big issues in development and optimization issues. They never work right out the gate. There is always something that has to be patched and fixed. And I honestly believe that Microsoft and Xbox and anybody else in between, it's going to be messed up that they're doing this, that they're probably more than likely waiting for the review period to be over, because games do not get knocked in reviews for being 30 frames a second. They get knocked for optimization and performance issues. So they're probably going to wait until the game is out of its review period before they unlock that 60 frames mode, because there's probably going to be huge dips.
You know, I'm offended with what you just said.
What?
You said freaking. Just say fuck.
Freaking, right? Well, here's the other thing that a lot of people don't want to accept, but in hammering out data, because my job is to predict the success of products. Like, if I bring a product in and it doesn't sell, it's my ass. So I actually have to do research on products just to bring them in to sell them to the public.
Do you sell a lot of double-sided dildos?
Yeah, no, that's the business down the road. I'm not allowed to work
I was
there.
going to say, there's probably good money in that one. They probably sell.
They're probably.
I'm sorry, I had to get a tension breaker in there somewhere.
Right? Just for me, just to throw the icing on the cake, is from the data I've seen, only 41% of United States households have a 4K television, which means almost 60% of United States households don't even have a screen in their home that's capable of 60 frames a second.
Whoa. 4K and 60 FPS are not.
They don't make 1080p 60 monitors.
They don't.
What? Say what?
What?
Whoa,
They
wait
make
a second.
14. They do 1440p. I've never seen a
no.
1440p television.
That we're not talking. You didn't. You weren't talking about that.
I'm talking about, but we're talking
1080p 60 has existed for decades.
Right, but I
had a TV in 2006 that could do that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying the most average person out there buying televisions, they're buying the low end televisions
Don't
that are
say
like
that
literally
4K
30,
and
40
60
hertz.
are paired together. They're not.
Okay. All I'm getting at though is that literally the demand for 60 frames a second isn't that high. It's
all righty then.
If I bought the world's most powerful console, it better fucking do 60.
That's the other thing too. You know what the funny part is about the AI?
It's not the console, it's the developers.
Well, let's
It
go
could be
actually.
the most powerful
I'm
PC.
not talking about Arcane here because they got
funny
the
part
shit
is,
dumped
and
on them that had to be pushed out when it wasn't.
I'm saying it right now,
ready,
people are
right?
expecting way
So-
too much out of these consoles.
Yes.
They're not there yet.
Well,
They're not
it's-
PCs.
The thing is,
why
here's,
would we though? Why
here's
would
the
we?
other part. They're not utilizing, and this is the problem with Xbox. Okay, their teams. Okay, even though it's Bethesda's branch, which is Arcane, right? It's not Xbox, but it is Xbox. You know, whatever you want to do with the logistics on that part. Even though they started in 2017, I get what Peniak's saying. You know, that they've had time to redo all this. You know, we were talking about scaling, so you can scale down to 1080p and then boost up your FPS because you have less of demand. We get that, right? All this and that. And the same thing with Centurion. What you're saying, you're kind of right too. You know, so you're right there also. But there's the problem is, Scrubs kind of said it. If you don't develop these games properly, and the engines, I've already said this part too. If the engines are shit and they're not corrected properly, you know, and part of Xbox's issue is that any team that they have should be utilizing all the tricks in the book that this console can do. All these things that they've told us that this console can do, that they're developing all the software for to help it boost it, it needs to be there. Its raw power is there to do it, but it needs the help of the other software that they've assisted the console to be huge. And they're not even using some of the tricks in the book to do this.
Well,
I'm
that's
starting
And I
to
know
wonder
it's
if they
still
know
in
how to.
development.
with Unreal
It's-
Engine 5, we're probably going to see a lot of those issues go away because Unreal Engine 5 actually has the Lumen engine, which is supposed to help with optimization for lighting and shadowing effects. It's also got one hell of a great like the MetaHuman thing for being able to give
another engine.
Yes, so there's
Okay.
some
There's
stuff
many
coming out in
engines.
gamings that are going to be able to alleviate this problem, but I don't really see like something in Unreal 4 having some of this optimization in it. And at the end of the, like I said, it's the online feature of the game. I really feel like, you know, in that case, like it is easier to get a game to run at 60 frames a second when it doesn't have to run online.
It's a good, here's the thing though. That's Unreal Engine 5 is a good engine, right? It has multiple engines inside. It also depends on what they decided to use when they were using Unreal Engine 4. They may not be able to convert that over, and they'd have to rebuild certain engines with Unreal Engine 5, or they have to try to migrate that. There's so many different things that we don't know that's going on, you know. And yes, we need to be able to hit 60 frames. We need to be able to hit 4K. We should be able to, as Peniac say, tie them together, which they're not. But we should be able to say that the bare minimum should be this. Even if you can't do native 4K, you should be able to do checkerboard 4K. You know what I mean? They have so many tricks that they can do, and they're not using the tools to their advantage. That's
Stick
my
the lamp
problem.
up my ass. That kind of trick.
That kind of trick.
Okay.
See,
It's not the damn consoles. That's one thing. Because I'm playing games with 120 FPS. Okay.
Right.
So for some people in the chat, for something, it's not the console. So throw out the part of these consoles aren't capable of doing that.
Before I hang myself with a
Go
Ethernet
do
cord.
it.
We need Dutch to get in on this. He's
Yeah,
muted currently. He's muted.
You guys are going back and forth, and Dutch is just sitting there playing with his beard. You know, I invited him on the show for a reason, not just because I like his accent. I think it's cool, but you know, I really wanted to hear the guy's opinion.
Cool.
He knows how we operate. Speak. Cut us off.
You got to cut these fuckers off, dude. They'll just talk each other to death and bore me to death.
I
mean, half the chance fell asleep.
No, it's for me, it's always about the genre first and foremost when it comes to the frames debate. Now, it's not to say I'm not going to play this, but much like Wilmy and a few others on this panel, I've got the privilege of having every platform available, so I can play this game on PC day one at 60 frames, and it's not going to make an issue to me. I don't have to play it on Series S or X. The problem comes where, and this isn't just Xbox, but just in general in gaming, the focus on native resolutions first and foremost is pointless. It's just a waste of resources. Like, what's the point in having a solid native 4K now when you've got FSR2, which is super resolution, or DLSS on PC, obviously, which is massively upscaled. Anyone that games on PC will tell you that they will never game in a native resolution because it's just a waste of overhead. You just slap it on 1080, use DLSS 2 or 3, depending on what GPU you've got, ramp that up to 4K. You've still got the overhead. That's exactly how Cyberpunk does its new fancy path-traced ray tracing mode. The only way to get that game running like that is by using DLSS 3. If you turn that off, it just turns into a pancake. It goes at like 9 frames, even on a 4090. So you have to use it, and this is what developers are not doing on console. This is why PlayStation are still using up-res technology. They're still using checkerboard. They're using upscaling to get up to resolutions of 4K. They're not aiming for a native 4K because Sony already know it's pointless. Yes, they don't have that many games that are doing 60 as a standard, but they always have a 60 performance mode in all of their games. And this is what Xbox aren't doing now. Yes, you can look at Forza Horizon, you can look at Halo, you can look at Gears, but we're not going to still, at this point in the generation, say Halo, Gears, Forza, Halo, Gears, Forza. Halo. This is what we did at the beginning of the generation when we're talking about the fact that they had no games. And now we're getting this far into the generation again, and it's still Halo, Gears, and Forza, but for a different reason. They're the only games with 60 frames as a standard, and then having options for fidelity mode or options for fidelity plus ray tracing at 30 if you really want to play it at 30. But when it comes to racing games, when it comes to FPS, whether that's offline or online, they need to be a 60 frames as a base. They feel a little bit sluggish and a little bit different when it's not. And we saw again, Deathloop had 60 frames as an option, but it was that its normal mode was 30. Ghostwire's normal is 30 and it has a performance mode of 60, but 60 looks like gelatin. So it's pointless playing it with that. And you may as well play it on 30, otherwise it does look terrible. But yeah, when it comes to an FPS game, personally, it has to be 60. It just feels sluggish when it's not. But I just do not understand why right now the developers are still trying to push native resolutions. It's a waste of resources, absolute waste of time. They may as well use that time. So even if you put it at 2K and then double that to 4K using FSR2, and then same with the Series S, 1080p, double that to 2K using FSR, you're going to get a load of overhead that you can use towards making sure you hit that 60 frames target. And it can't be that far off. It literally cannot be that far off hitting 60 frames if it's coming in a patch. If it was never going to arrive, like we saw with the Batman game, I forgot what the name of that game was that I never
Gotham
played.
Knights.
Gotham Knights, that was 30 frames. They just went, yeah, it's just 30 frames. Yeah, this is not happening. Like, it's 30 frames. Just take it. And then we see it with this one. They're at least confident that they're going to get a patch out, which is a bonus for those who want to wait for it. But the problem we've got there, on Xbox's side, there's two issues. We know that at this point, they're not going to delay it. I think Xbox have pretty much said, it's coming out whether you like it or not, because it is essentially the biggest AAA game we've got left in this 12-month window that we've already dictated ourselves. If we missed the last big game, I'm not counting Minecraft Legends, as much as people might be looking forward to that. That's not a huge AAA blockbuster. When you're talking about their biggest AAA games that are left to come out in that 12-month window, Redfall is the only one. If they missed that last game, the uproar from missing that last game would definitely be worse than the uproar from it having a delayed 60 frames mode. And again, I think on Microsoft's side, on another aspect, is they will have looked at how many people are using fidelity mode versus how many people are using performance mode in all the games. And this just doesn't go into our little bubble on Twitter and on these podcasts where we say 60 frames matters, 60 frames matters. When they have a look at the broader scale of how many people uses these different modes in their games specifically, and potentially even Call of Duty, and look at it and they go, right, well, who uses fidelity and who uses performance mode? And then they say, okay, so at least 70% of the general public use fidelity mode and the rest use performance mode, because a lot of the general public don't go into the options. They just go, play it. And then they play it. Yep, exactly. And there's the general public will just do that. Like, apart from us guys who go into the settings and go, yep, performance mode, turn off chromatic aberration, turn off motion blur, turn off all of this nonsense. Don't need none of that. Film grain, you can get off as well. Like, we do that, but a lot of the general public don't bother. They just turn it on, start new game, and off we go. So they'll have looked at that and said, you know what it is, as a mass market thing, we can afford to wait on 60. As long as the game that's coming out at 4K 30 is a rock solid 4K 30, and this is good, and it feels smooth at 30, then we're okay with that. If, however, and this is where we're going to have an issue for everybody, if the game releases at 4K 30 and it still plays like shit, that's when there's going to be problems. Because if you're not...
another wrench in the equation. What if the game is just actually bad?
Well, it's a possibility.
Yeah,
it's always a possibility.
Did you guys see like the frame rate dip with Gotham Knights? Did any of you play Gotham Knights?
No.
Like, I played it. Like, I'm gonna say it right now. I've played a lot of games, and I normally do not bitch about frame rates. This was the first time I ever had a complaint about a frame rate dip, because literally, the minute all the enemies were on the screen and explosions were taking place, and you're trying to do character animations, it would drop down to like 2 or 3 frames a second. I mean, like, dude, it was like watching a slideshow, and
I
you'd
didn't
get your
win the photo
ass
mode
kicked.
here, did I?
Dude, you'd get your ass kicked. By the time it would catch up, your character's health bar is just wrecked.
Yeah, and that's an
And let's
issue.
be
I
honest,
think
let's be honest,
I think
Gotham Knights
Xbox
got
is
raked over the coals for that. It's like, I
Yeah.
can't believe you're a current gen only and it's 30. Are you guys fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
See, but
exactly.
that's just like,
And that's
I'm
what this
wondering-
is the thing with Redfall. Like Redfall is current gen only and PC. And when you have a look, and this is another thing that like people need to, and Scrub said it perfectly. This isn't the console issue. It's definitely not a console issue. You know when it's a console issue when the recommended specs and the base specs on the PC are still in 1070 territory.
Exactly.
Mhm. Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, but when the PC basis specs and even the secondary specs, which are in 2070, like 1070 and 2070 territory, like when they're the recommended and the minimum specs on PC, it's not a console issue.
But that's
It's
that's
not.
why
If that
Optimus-
game can run at 60 frames on PC on a 1070, it can absolutely run on PC on 1070
that's
sorry,
why
on a-
optimization
on-
is key.
console.
You know, like we said before, I mean, you basically backed up what I just said about using the tools. If they don't use the
Yep.
tools, they're not going to get the benefits out of it, and that's the problem. You know, and you
And
know,
on
obviously,
PC,
even-
Dread, I was going to say, Dread, to add to that, on PC, you can brute force everything on PC.
Correct.
You can just say,
Yeah.
crank it all up, but you can't do brute force. This is the issue they've got. You can't do a brute force on console because what you've got is what you've got. So you have to use the technology available. On PC, you've got the option to turn on FSR, but unless the developers use FSR whilst they're using the console version, then you can't brute force it, which is a major issue. So it's tools.
but that's if they don't utilize the tools, if they don't optimize their software to, you know, between the engines, the coordination between, you know, like I said, they have many engines, the physics engine, the actual engine that runs all of the engines together. You know, and when you don't have cohesion between those because the developers did not program it 100%, they didn't use specific tools that would also free up the headroom like you were talking about. And this is, you know, like you know, we talked about with scaling. This isn't part of scaling, but it does fall into that too. It's just different metrics that you have to figure out that put everything together. And if you don't, I'm sorry, if you don't have a starter, you're going to have to be pushing the car to hopefully start it somehow. I don't know how you're going to start it, but you know, you're not starting it without a battery. Even if you had a battery, you don't have a starter. How are you going to start the car? And that's the problem. You know, I don't know if they're doing the belt around the engine and pulling on it to start it that way. I don't know what they're doing, but that's part of the
I kind
issue.
of liken it to a 5-year-old driving an F1 car. How effective is that person going to be?
Yeah.
All the power's there, all the tools are there, but if you have someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, you're not going to get the best results.
I think there's much to be said about it. To be honest, like I say, the game could come out 4K 30 and it feels smooth and it feels okay and it plays great, and that's the ideal scenario. That when it releases at 4K 30, we all sit there, we play it, and we go, all right, like this is okay. I'd prefer a 60 frames, but this is actually pretty smooth, so I can kind of cope with this. For those without a PC, I can kind of cope with this. It's great. Bad case scenario, it releases 4K and it isn't a stable 30, and it's dipping all the time and it's dropping like Gotham Knights was, and it's having these hitching moments, and then you go, okay, so there's an issue here. So it's not just the fact that 60 frames isn't working, but the game in itself isn't performing as it should do either. So now there is another issue to talk about. I think as long as the game releases at a solid 4K 30, there won't be any more kickoffs, and people will just learn to accept it and wait for the patch or play it. And then when the patch comes around, continue to play it even more. But on a flip side, then you've got to have a look at the fact that Bethesda also, and this is why I can't kind of lump it all on Microsoft, Bethesda chose to remain separate from Microsoft in terms of their publishing and their development cycles. Yes, they report to them, but they chose to remain by themselves and do their own thing. So we can't really, to a point, blame Xbox and Microsoft on that front, because Bethesda wanted to remain internally independent. Okay, that's fine. But then on Xbox's front, they said, and specifically, they will give all of the assistance that they possibly can to all of these studios to make sure that they have access to and are efficient with the tools available on the dev kits. So on that front, what were Xbox doing to support the Bethesda teams with the tools available on the dev kits in order to make sure that these games are running as they expect them to? Now, I've been led to believe as well that, and this is why Aaron Greenberg's been getting it through the fires, because he put up that post a while ago saying the standard 60 frames, 120. Have you seen any of the Xbox first-party games come out without 60 frames or 120 modes? Outside of Bethesda?
Both of them, you mean?
So.
No.
Forza Horizon, Halo.
That's
They all
it.
had it. Yeah.
Yeah, they all had performance.
Yeah,
modes.
The only one that didn't was Flight Sim, and naturally, I mean,
Yeah,
well,
for console.
like,
yeah,
naturally, that thing's never going to run 60 on console. Like it's an absolute joy that got out in the first place. But Arcane historically have always released at 30 frames themselves. id Tech, fair enough. They've always released 60, 120, whatever. They've been pushing that boat out. Same with Wolfenstein. Again, Skyrim was 30. Again, if you have a look at all them, so notoriously, and even Todd Howard himself came out and said, "I love 30. Like, it's a way I love to play games. I love it in the most highest fidelity possible. If that means releasing at 30, then fair be." But on Xbox's mandate, which is minimum 60, aiming for 120. But then, as far as they were aware, that mandate was all the way across, and they weren't aware of this post that these guys were going to put out until they put that post out.
Yeah, I mean,
well, that Aaron Greenberg tweet is from 2020, before the consoles even came out.
Yeah,
before when they were huffing their chest about the most engineered, most powerful,
and if they use the tools, they would
thing
hit
ever.
that.
Well, why aren't they?
Don't ask me. Ask them. They're the ones that decided not to do it.
Yeah, that's why I hold Xbox accountable on that front, because they are meant to be assisting their development studios, regardless of whether or not they want to remain independent or not. They should have, theoretically, been going to them studios and saying, "Do you need any assistance with any of the tools on this dev kit in order to make sure you're getting the full potential out of them?"
And how do you know? We don't know if they said, "You know what, we're good. We don't need your help."
Yeah,
we got this. We don't know.
We don't know.
There's a lot of stuff we don't know, because maybe the devs, the programmers are like, "Yeah, you know what, we need some more help here with something." And you're talking about a guy in a suit before. Maybe their suit above them is saying, no, our guys have it. We don't need any more help. In the meantime, the guys are saying, "Hey, I need help. We need more time. We need more of this." I mean, it happens all the time. There's somebody up there that's a little bit blind or unwilling to open up their eyes and ask for help because they're too proud of what they can do. And they, I mean, not saying that they don't believe in their team. They obviously believe in their team, but that's the thing. I see that. But I'm here looking at the Redfall page. It says playable on PC and Xbox Series X and S, right? Capabilities. It does say 60 frames per second, but it doesn't say that it's on both PC and Series X. I don't know.
Then don't put it there.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but it's been removed since then.
And don't show all your trailers running in 4K 60 and all your gameplay running at 4K 60.
Well, everything,
and then removing it from the product page.
So then
2 weeks before launch.
So then you don't show your product at the best light possible.
Well, say this is on PC in fucking bold letters at the end, at the bottom of the trailer.
We've always said that when you show stuff, show it that it's PC. But how many times? Puddlegate.
I was waiting for it.
Today's question for Ask Wilmy: are you still awake over there?
Almost in a coma.
I'm just saying
my
Puddlegate.
God.
That's all.
I would rather hear about Star Wars at this point.
Oh, cool.
Don't
Oh,
start.
cool. Hold on. Let me get a book.
Whoa.
Do not start.
Star
That Mandalorian episode was
Oh yeah, this last one. Fire.
Yeah.
What? No,
Don't
dude.
start.
I actually want to get down and talk about the actual politics of the universe because I mean, there's a good discussion. Let's talk about politics in a fake universe.
Sure.
You need to
let's
bring
do
the.
it.
Where's the no guy? You need the no guy back. Where is he? Find-
I kept forgetting to put him back in here. Okay. One last topic because you guys have been going on about this for like 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I've already slammed my head into my desk like 387 times.
You know what? Can I at
Voice.
least respectfully say, especially to anybody who's listening to this, but I wonder how many podcasts went the whole 2 hours talking about that damn subject.
I'm pretty sure there was something that went longer than that.
Iron Lords had about 6 hours worth probably today.
No, that wasn't about this. That was different people coming in.
Oh yeah. That
Yeah,
took
because
my-
I was on there. Dutch was on there.
Dutch.
So there were a lot of us on there.
Mhm.
There was quite a few of us that weren't.
Well, I'm sorry they didn't find you special enough.
Oh, I'm not special. That's for
Can't be
sure.
having ponies on the Iron Lords podcast. What?
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
yeah.
I'm just a nobody. Give me a break.
it is. Well, that's true. I don't. I mean,
Mhm.
but we can't argue. Ah. But one other topic I did see, and to me, I think this is funny, and it just shows a little bit of hypocrisy. A lady had posted that she was leaving Insomniac because they were doing layoffs. Now, the only reason I mentioned this, I didn't see like Kotaku or any of these places pick her story up. They did not pick it up. There was not a ton of articles come out about this one. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bungie.
I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
saw
it
the
was
one from
Bungie. I'm sorry, not Insomniac. And didn't they promise all this money to keep all the
Yeah.
employees at Bungie when they were purchased?
I think they promised the money so that way the employees would stay on.
Yeah, but
But
now,
now they're letting them go.
Yes.
no journalist is actually making an issue of this. And I just thought that was odd because every time somebody leaves a studio at Microsoft, it's the end. They're
didn't
chasing
see
Phil
that.
Spencer down with a pineapple again. You know what I mean? But nobody made a mention of this lady
Hang on. Oh,
leaving
there's
Bungie. So
Yep.
did Jason Schreier put out
It
anything
was.
on it?
It was. Nope. It was a bit weird because it's, as you mentioned, they not only did they offer them money, but they offered them something like $1 billion over asking just for the staff.
Mhm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
during the buyout, once the buyout went through, they wouldn't start going to other studios. They wanted the talent to stay there because if you actually look at some of the documents from the ABK deal, Sony has even made comments about how they are trying to make headway with their multiplayer centric games, and they want those employees to stay because they need consultation on how to create basically successful multiplayer franchises like that. And who better than Bungie? I mean, they crafted Destiny.
Hey, they got a whole bunch of 343 contractors that were laid off a couple years back. I'm
Mhm.
sure they could hire them.
Yeah, I just saw the post from the girl who said she's getting laid off.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that they're laying them off, that's a little shocking because
She was
whole reason
probably
that-
less important than like Joseph Staten, but
I wouldn't swear to
Come
that.
on. I wouldn't.
I'm just, you got the whole reason why they wanted them to stay in the first place is because they wanted to be able to use them to, I think, what is it, like PlayStation says they have like 10 multiplayer games in development.
Last time I said that, somebody
live
corrected me to
service
12.
because of the live service games. So yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see
But
one of them.
even then on,
You know what I'm saying?
on the Joe Staten thing that you mentioned there, like I think even that was to me completely overblown. Joe Staten was brought in for a couple of years to steady the Halo Infinite ship because it was in an absolute state.
Chaos.
It was a mess. So he steadied that ship. He got it to a point where it was okay, not great, but it was okay. His job's done. He was moved back into internal publishing, and then he's gone. That's fine. Okay, goodbye. Your job's done. See you later.
Another
Then
Tuesday.
and one other guy that is left recently or silently left was that Frank guy that's been there since the dawn of time. But even then, I think personally that's a good move for multiple reasons. Like you can't keep some of these old heads around forever, because then ideas become absolutely stale. They
Talking about
can't just
Frank O'Connell.
It's just
Same
non-news, though. To be honest, it's just like whatever. People change jobs all the time. Like,
Exactly.
like if
Yep.
Phil Spencer, like in a rage, quit one day, then you'd be like, okay, that's kind of big. But just to have people move on and say I'm moving on, and so what?
And I
These
don't
are
blame Joseph. If I worked on Halo for that many years, I would have nightmares about Master Chief.
I would go start
I mean-
watching Blippi.
Damn
Well,
right.
wait a
I'd
minute.
No, I don't know
Ooh.
if I go that far.
There's
I don't
your
know about that.
PC mod. Turn
Well, it was the
Master
same with the
Chief-
Playground devs, though. When the Playground devs left to create something entirely not Forza, everyone was like, "Oh God, look at all these Playground guys!" Like, these guys have been
And
in
the
that
game
Playground
came out
since the
great.
dawn
Yeah.
of the studio. Like, of course, they want to create something that isn't Forza and Fable. They want to make their own stuff, so let them do it. But
I've
they made a
never
whole song
understood
and dance about it.
I've never understood the concept of dedicating a studio to the same style of game just over and over and over again, because
Of money.
I see that's the other
They
thing,
don't
like-
want to change it up. If it's working, corporations are about money and getting money to their stakeholders and their shareholders. That's why you see
Bungie left
after
Microsoft in the
every
first place,
quarter.
because they just
Yeah.
wanted them to do Halo forever.
Yeah.
They're like,
After every quarter,
we wanna do
when
something
your
else.
when your quarter goes down in profits, what's the quickest way to start saving money and bolster for R&D and everything else?
Stick a pork,
Cut your staff.
a pineapple up Phil Spencer's
No,
ass.
it's buy Activision.
You cut your staff, and once you cut your staff, you have this money that you can show for your next quarter how you saved on your quarterly profits, and you can maybe get your stock price back up. They do this with every corporation. Microsoft just laid off a bunch of people. Apple just did it. Google just did
Amazon.
it. Amazon just
They
did it all in this
Twitch.
last quarter. What have we been hearing in this last quarter when folks are going, ooh, Sony price, which if you look in the last 3 to 5 years, their price is on an uptick. But all it takes is one quarter for it to be down. They start slashing people to make their price, to make their books look better.
And I've lived through that with my company. I've lived through that. I've made it through where other friends have been laid off. They've been let go
because you have a better beard.
No,
Yeah.
Nobody sees me. That's why they forget about
You're
me.
better on your knees.
Ooh.
I just said beard and you went there. Holy fuck.
I had to go there, dude. I'm still in a coma over that
The
conversation.
YouTube guy tomorrow morning's like, oh, god damn it again.
Well, yeah. Well, that's
Hey,
what
that's
she
okay.
said.
They're loving us on Rumble, so it's all good.
There you go. Silver lining.
No, but
Yeah,
I mean,
we're getting popular over there.
well,
Perfect.
But that's the thing is once people go, the numbers change. You lose a higher up, your numbers change. It's easier to let a whole bunch of little people go. But when you're talking about Joe Staten, that's a name that everybody knows. This other lady, she's important too. It's not like Joseph is the one that's running everything and doing everything. There's a whole bunch of people underneath him. He's just someone that was managing to a certain degree with his position. She's doing all the work in her level. You know what I mean? She might be managing. I forgot all the stuff that she said she was doing. But again, it takes a whole bunch of people. It's
Well,
not just one person.
Some of these game journalists are getting laid off.
Well, some of them need to because they don't know.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I
That's
give
that
this
one
game
guy,
a 4 out of
Nobi.
10. How long did you play it? I only played the first chapter. There's 28 chapters.
Well,
He gave it
at least he played the game. What about the guy like okay, like recently we've got the guy that didn't know how to play a first-person shooter with the IGN thing, but also what about the game journalist that couldn't get past the tutorial on Cuphead?
Cuphead. Yep. That's the one I always go back to. The guy couldn't even make no tutorial.
You see the footage too. He's just like, dude, it's just a jump dash.
All
It's
right,
a
so-
jump dash. Just do it. Nope, 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 nope. It's like, oh my god. And this guy's
Yeah.
reviewing the game. Give me a break.
But going to Eigen, whatever you want to call them, but going back to them, they also hire, a group of people to do all this stuff, but they don't care who does what. It's the next
$20 per
available
article.
person. they go to that new project that they have to review or do anything. So it's not like back in the old days when we grew up reading magazines, you had a expert in racing games go review a racing game. You had an expert in first person shooters or RTS. That's what they would do. And sometimes some of the magazines like GamePro had a secondary reviewer to give like another person's outside view of it that was not the pro of this type of genre. And that's kind of the other thing. A lot of these journalists they do everything. It doesn't matter what it is. They get slapped
the
out
internet,
there.
Dread.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Is the internet? You get internet famous and you lose your mind. You're I don't know.
Look, I mean, I've seen a few reviews and over like the last, let's say, 2 years where the person reviewing it will write in their actual review that this is not typically a genre I prefer to play. It's like, what the? Why are you?
I was actually getting ready to say
like,
that.
Why? Why? Like, no wonder you gave it a 6 out of 10 because it's you know, like, come on.
And that's
what direction the review is going to go.
Yeah,
right off the rip.
I don't normally play FPS games. I normally play shower simulators.
Where that's I appreciate their honesty when they say
Call of
that,
Duty 1 out of 10.
but they shouldn't
no
be
shower.
the lead reviewer on that. That's
yeah,
my
if there's
thing.
like a secondary review like 2 weeks later or something like that, but
Or even
like,
on
not
the
the
sa-
primary person,
even on the
right?
same article. Even
Yeah.
the same article. If you're a first person shooter and you're the pro at these things, and you have somebody that plays, I don't know, Disney whatever crap,
Racing game.
Simulator
yeah,
23.
something
I'm a
that
Peppa the Pig professional, bitch.
yeah, and you could say, hey, you know what, this isn't my type of game, but I had fun with this. I had, obviously I was no good, but I had fun. I was able to compete at the same levels, or at least in my head, something,
It was
but
in your head, I'm pretty sure.
I forget.
It
I
is.
forget. I could be wrong. I could have swore I remember when one of the reviews came out for like Gears 5. One of the I forget what article it was, but the guy came out and said, I normally like to play games like Guitar Hero, but I decided to review a Gears game. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, Gears is totally a rhythm game, right?
Well, you didn't read the
man.
part that he played Gears with the guitar.
That's impressive.
Well, you could 5. It was that boring.
Didn't play it. Play
All right.
Godbusters though. Got to get those diamond achievements.
And on that note, let's get the fuck out of here. All right, Scrub, you still with us?
He's there.
I am here.
Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Okay, where you can find me. You can find me here every Sunday. Come check us out. 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. Also, Scrub Nurse on Twitter, Scrub Nurse 3. Make sure you put the number 3 behind there or you won't find me. You'll find a lot of job offerings for the hospital. Also, you can find me on my Twitch at Scrub_Nurse. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. The new season 3. Come check out some of the gameplay. And that's it. I'm glad for y'all to come out. We had some fun. We had some long topic discussions. Glad you
One
stuck
long
with
topic
us.
discussion, overly long.
There you go. Glad to have Wonder and Dutch with us.
It was longer
Always
than
good to see
Dutch's
you,
beard.
brother. Yeah, nah, that's
Listen,
pretty long.
you caught a nap. You're welcome. All
There
right.
you go.
Shit.
We're glad we could help you go to sleep.
All right, Dutch, thanks for joining us, buddy, and tell us where everybody can find you.
Yeah, pleasure as always. Great to be back on Gaming Beyond the Box. Been, like I say, it's been a long time, but it was worth the wait. Worth the wait indeed. Great to be podcasting with all you fine gents. But yeah, you can find me everywhere at Wondering Dutch if you don't already know. Also on Midweek Mix-Up every Wednesday, every second Sunday, and every Tuesday. Primetime Gaming with Boom every Wednesday evening, and Thursdays World of Gaming with Boxenberger. But yeah, as always, it's been a blast. So thanks, chaps.
It was good to have you back. Even though you didn't get to talk much, I had to break in and shut everybody up for a second.
Yeah, Scrub. Shut up once in a while. Jesus
You
Christ.
should have came in with an axe or something and threatened them.
There you go.
All right,
internet?
Centurion. Tell
Can't
everybody
threaten
where
me
they
with
can
an
find
axe on the internet.
All right. Well, tonight's show was definitely a good one. Learned a little bit. Enjoyed listening to everybody chat about today's fun topics. It was great to meet the Wandering Dutch finally. For those interested in finding me, okay, yeah,
there's
there's
the
there he
Leviathan
goes.
X.
Oh, great. Now the show just went that way. Somebody's got a weapon.
Oh, I got a bunch behind me.
I mean, he's had weapons behind him anyway.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that lightsaber to go through the earth.
It's gonna fall through.
Lightsabers aren't real, Dread. They're not real, buddy.
They're real.
They're real, man. They're real.
They're just as real as Dreadpool's boobs.
Actually, did you see the guy who actually built one though? But it worked off of like a freaking huge ass electrical power supply, and like that thing was dangerous as fuck. Anyways, for those interested in finding me and my crazy banter and my content, find me at Centurion1307 on YouTube. You can also find me here every Sunday night right here with these great gentlemen. And right after this show, starting at least 6 p.m. my time, you'll catch me on the TXR podcast.
All right.
That's 9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern, dude. I mean, we don't participate in freaking daylight savings time, so it's literally always a question on what time is it where everybody else lives.
Is it just Arizona? Like, what technical time zone are you in?
So during what part of the year? Like, some parts of the year I'm Pacific time, other parts of the year I'm Mountain time. We're a bunch of rebels.
Just like
All right,
Saskatchewan.
Dreadpool.
Half of
Come on,
Saskatchewan,
everybody.
actually. Like, half of Saskatchewan
Yes.
doesn't do it. That's a
Thank
real place,
you.
by the way.
Can I talk? Yeah, maybe. Can I? Metro? My turn? Okay. Anyway, thank you for everyone that's stopping in. Again, always a pleasure having Wandering Dutch with us. One of these days we will have a beard off and see, I'll braid it. I don't, we'll do something.
We don't care what you do.
Braid off.
Just get there with it,
Braid off.
Right. So anyway, again, thank you everybody. Game Beyond the Box Sunday nights here at 7. Breakfast Boom at 10, and then check out all the convention stuff I've been putting out recently. I've been streaming again. I did play. I forgot about that. I did play Dead Island, the first one, for like 3 hours with my wife. Had a good time.
So is that what she calls it when you hit a certain age and it's flaccid, just Dead Island?
Dead Island.
I just checked.
Yep, it's just a lone palm tree. Couple of coconuts.
Every single thing is low hanging fruit.
We just got a sponsorship for Viagra, ladies and gentlemen.
Cialis, Levitch, or something.
It's gonna be for that. I think like Hims where they mail it to you discreetly.
There you
and
go.
Dole for the pineapple because I
There
got
you
shoved
go.
out somebody's ass earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, I mentioned that 4
I'll
times.
bring in all the swingers.
You're gonna see me.
in.
You're gonna be seeing me smile like the Enzyte dude.
Oh shit!
If you don't know, that's an old commercial for one of those.
I remember Bob.
This is Bob. Anyway, Peniac, where can we find you?
Oh, goodness gracious. You can find here Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, with all these fine lads. Dutch, good to have you. The beard definitely, took the place of Bomber with his salmon shorts that he had earlier on.
And he's not and he's not wearing pink shorts like Bomber was.
Well, we don't know that. Are you?
He's not wearing pants.
I'm not. No, I'm
He's just not. I'm not wearing anything. But oh, damn! All right, definitely not pink shorts.
We're gonna have to share that on our OnlyFans clip.
Yeah.
Definitely black.
Twitter.
Damn, somebody else is
Paniac
as
Giant.
skinny as I am.
Oh yeah,
And,
too right.
Yeah, I'm good. Good show, everybody. Good talk. A little feisty, but hey, that's what we do, eh?
Yeah, See, and you said you didn't talk like you were Canadian.
I
Yeah.
don't say
Hey.
"ooh," but I say A all the time. Like I'm a fucking Canadian. What the fuck do you want me to say, eh?
I know.
Hey.
It's weird how that comes in
You can
boots.
say B, C, D.
I thought Canadians always said sorry.
When it's warranted.
Okay.
Not the
That's
French
Fair enough.
Canadians.
Fucking ass. What? No, French Canadians. They
Sorry.
They don't say sorry.
Sorry,
They say other things.
We'll get around to boot it. All right. And anyway, you can find me here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. Look for Wilmy Hood. And you can find
And
me on
Switch.
Twitter You can find me on Twitter. Just type in Wilmy Hood #2. And also, you can find us on Rumble. You can find us on Twitch. And what's this other one here? What's the name of it? Fresh
Spotify?
Cut.
What?
It's another site. We're
Fresh
broadcasting
Cut?
this shit. Yeah, we're broadcasting this shit everywhere.
Like a guy who just got done his circumcision?
I don't know, dude. I didn't name that.
Dude,
that's,
somebody right now is
If he had known that, he
getting
wouldn't have applied.
ready to hammer out a new website called freshcut.com.
And the YouTube guy tomorrow morning again. Shaking
And
his head with
hopefully
his morning coffee.
Bomber gets out of jail by morning. I don't know what the penalties are down in Alabama for wearing that outfit.
It's fresh
So-
cut down there too.
That's a year, I would imagine.
Well, by
Pretty
now he
severe.
may be fresh cut in that jail cell. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Fresh meat.
they don't take kindly to that kind of offense.
Unless it's houndstooth. Not SB
That's it.
houndstooth.
But well, you heard what happened, right? One of the cellmates came in, and goes, "You want to be the man or the wife?"
Oh yeah.
Bomber said, "I
Mhm.
want to be the man." And the cellmate goes, "Well, get out here and suck your wife's dick."
That's right.
It might not work out well.
Little did anybody know Bomber's PG.
And on
I'm
that
not,
note,
I'm not explaining that.
we are out of here. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next Sunday,
Here's y'all.
same time, same place. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't ban us. If they do, fuck them.
Thank you.
Rumble.
And on that note, we will see you guys next week. Fuck
Later.
y'all. That's not the wrong.
I'll
That's
see
the wrong one.